hello Facebook. Very nice to see you. I was just saying to my friends on Insta that I'm here in my studios because it's Wellbeing Wednesday. So I've positioned myself in a little corner. You may have seen it sometimes on my social media. And it's sometimes where I sit. I feel really creative. I've got beautiful arched window behind me leading out onto the studio gardens. We've got parakeets in the trees, so you might hear some meep, 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 meep noises. I think they escaped from some aviary years ago, and they just breed like crazy in southwest London. So sounds a bit like, we're sitting in a tropical Singaporean environment, and we're not at all. And I've got my scented candle going from True Grace. I'm going to be talking about them in just a minute because we've got an amazing offer from them. Free gifts. Yes, free things. We love free things. But first, let's talk about EstroGel. Now, yesterday I posted a story, or I talked about it on my Instagram Live and my Facebook Live, because I picked up on this from the Manchester Menopause Hive. You can follow her on Facebook and on Instagram. She's a GP menopause specialist. And she was noticing that she was being prescribed what she thought was the normal EstroGel form of estrogen, which we know it's transdermal, it's very safe, it's the kind that doesn't cause any clotting. You can use it if you have blood clots, history of DVT, migraines, all of that, even though a lot of GPs aren't aware of it, and that's another story. But yes, it's very, very safe. There's no risk for that, and it's also very, very low risk with breast cancer. Anyway, so she went to pick up her normal prescription and she was prescribed something called Oestrodose. And she said, no, I don't want that. I want my EstroGel. And the pharmacist said, look, love, it's the same. Like flipping menopausal woman doesn't know what she's talking about. Of course, without probably realising that he was talking to a menopause doctor. And she said, no, I'd like the EstroGel. And we are perfectly within our rights to ask for what's been properly prescribed. And anyway, she stood her ground and she did a bit of investigating, and she discovered that many other women had been reporting that Oestrodose is not as effective. So she took it up with the manufacturers. It's made by a healthcare company called Besins, Besins. Lots of details on the Manchester Menopause Hive network. So if you want all the details for this, because I'm not going to spend too long talking about it, it's just really a quick update, then it's all on her Instagram and her Facebook, and including email addresses of who to contact, etc. Anyway, they said, no, love, it's just the same, but we make it in a different factory, so it's the same. Well, of course, making things in different factories, in different places, under different conditions, especially something like a gel, which for me, having worked in skincare all those years ago, before leaving the beauty company, I know a lot about formulations, and I know you've got to be quite careful. These things are quite sensitive. And so anyway, so I decided to talk about it and just say, look, if there is an issue, please be aware of it, and you can report it to the MHRA, and they're the regulatory body, and whenever there's a side effect or an issue with a drug, you report it. It's called a yellow card, and there's a great app, so you can download it onto your phone. It's called Yellow Card app, funny that, from the MHRA, and I did it myself, and you just put your details in and you report. You put the batch number of the product that you're talking about, and actually looking at the app, it's a really useful app to have anyway, because it tells you all about contraindications and reporting side effects and that kind of thing. So it's something I'm going to keep on my phone. Anyway, so to be honest with you, I kind of ummed and ahed about whether to put it out here, because when I look at, my combined following on Facebook and Instagram, it's around 100,000 people. And I'm thinking, how many of those, are going to be affected? Is this, just a handful of women? Is this something that really, maybe I'll just pop it on my stories or something? But actually, the more I got to hear about it, and I talked to Dr. Zoe Hodson, who is the Manchester Menopause Hive doctor, I became increasingly uneasy, and that unease has turned into outrage. And you only have to read a snapshot of the comments that have come in to see how many women are being essentially duped by using this form of EstroGel, which isn't working. And many, many women have actually, stopped. They've given up on HRT because they thought, oh, well, that doesn't work. That was no good. Liz and Dr. Louise and all these people talk about gels where it's a load of rubbish. And it's because they're using Estrodose. And even more worryingly, I'm just looking here. This is my Instagram post from yesterday. So that's the film that I recorded. And I'm just looking through. I've got 228 comments and counting. And many of you are saying, oh my goodness, that is me. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know why my symptoms were returning. Why was I not sleeping? Why was I getting hot flushes? Why was my mood so awful? Why are my joints aching? All these things. And it's just shocking, actually. And even worse is you may think you've got EstroGel and it's got a stick-on label. And when you lift up the label, you see it's been over-labelled with Oestrodose. Now, we need to get to the bottom of this. And if you've got an issue, obviously if it suits you, then fine. But if it doesn't suit you, and there seems to be many women who are saying, I can't believe it, you need to report it. You need to let the MHRA know. It may be a case of product recall. I don't know. But, it's bad enough, isn't it? When you think of it, we struggle with the doctors not being aware of the nice guidelines. We struggle with the media misinforming us over scare stories and risks. We struggle with the fact that there's incorrect leaflets inside the boxes, and that's a separate issue that we're taking up with the MHRA to try and get that changed. And then you finally get your gel. And you discard the leaflets that don't apply to you because it talks about transdermal risks when there aren't any. And you rub it on and it doesn't work. And then you think, well, that's a load of rubbish, isn't it? And of course, it may not be working because it may not be the right efficacy that we need. So anyway, lots on Manchester Menopause Hive, Instagram and Facebook about what to make sure your prescription says. You've got to ask for EstroGel, have that spelt out, and put no PI on your prescription. Ask your doctor to write that. And that means no primary imports. And that means that they can't switch it for a substitute. And do you know what makes me even angrier? Is the fact that it seems to be due to a financial cost saving. Apparently the pharmacies are making a few more pence by prescribing this primary import. And the suffering that's going on and the health damage. Oh boy. Anyway, do you know, I'm sitting here in the calm, and I deliberately did this because I knew I'd get wound up about it. And I thought, I'll get that off my chest. I'll just throw it out there, and now we can talk about other lovely things because it's Wellbeing Wednesday. I'm sitting here with my pink hair, wearing a bright pink dress to be cheerful and in the pink. So this is another British brand. You've probably maybe heard me talk about Me and M. It was started by a lady I know called Claire Hornby, and she's just got great taste and great style, and I really love her things. And she very kindly gave me this dress, and it's my lovely Wellbeing pink colour. It's belted, which I really like. It's got a little pocket, which is always a plus, and I don't know whether you can see, but it's sort of got a tie back. So on a day like today, when the sun is shining here in London, and it's really getting quite warm, and I like this cutaway angle I find for a halter neck. This is a great summer dress because you get the cutaway here so that you get the chance to hopefully show off your shapely shoulders. That's hard to say. Show off your shapely shoulders. If you've been doing lots of push-ups, I was doing mine this morning, and also it's got a nice high neck. And I always try and make sure I'm protecting this bit of the skin in the sun, because we might protect our faces with sunscreen or a bit of makeup and actually forget this. And because of the angle of the sun hitting our skin, this is where we can get all crepey and lined. So I do actually usually try and wear something high-necked, or I know you've seen me do this before in the summer on my Instagram. I'll reverse a t-shirt. If I go out for a run, I'll wear it the wrong way round so that the neck comes up nice and high. Anyway, so I just thought I'd share that with you because it has gone into the sale. I don't have a Liz Loves discount code. I don't have any kind of connection with these guys, but they're a great British brand, fashion brand. And this particular dress, as well as other things, are in the sale. And I popped a link. There's a link on Linktree on Instagram, and I know Amy Sweet, you will put a link on Facebook. Just so that I know I'm being joined by lots more new people. Thank you for sharing the word. Thank you for sharing the good news, because there's lots of good news for midlife female well-being, and that's what this little channel, I guess, is all about, and the focus. And so if you're watching me on Instagram for the first time, welcome. It's a lovely community. We're friends, so just put that out there. And we can't link on Instagram, as I'm sure you know. So what I do is I make sure that in my bio, my little Instagram bio, where my little circle picture is with a little bit of blurb about me, at the bottom there's a blue line of Linktree. If you click on that, that opens up a whole world of links. So that's links to podcasts that I might talk about, or to discount codes. We're managing to get lots of special deals with Liz Loves. I've got a really lovely one coming up in a moment from Grace, True Grace, so don't miss that. But it also links to features and recipes and ideas and all sorts of other things that I'm talking about. Facebook, you've got it easier, I know, because the lovely Amy sits on Facebook and helps to kind of chat and add in links to things. So thank you very much, sweetheart. And it does stay up on Facebook. So if anybody is watching this, particularly later in the day, I know lots of you are watching now on YouTube. You are so welcome. Thank you for letting me know. I put out a little question earlier in the week saying, how do you guys watch me? And, you know, what ways do you like to watch? A lot of people now returning to work and getting back to normal, and come in the evening perhaps and switch on YouTube, and we will find a way of formatting it for YouTube. I'm sorry we're not there yet, but we're looking at ways. I know it comes out the wrong format, it comes like that on YouTube, and we want it to be like that because it's like a TV screen, so it's fine at the moment for Instagram and Facebook, but apologies. Thank you for bearing with us. If you don't yet subscribe to Earle Wellbeing on YouTube, please do, because that really helps us to just kind of become more visible and spread the word. So we're Earle Wellbeing on YouTube. You can get it on your phone, you can get it obviously on your laptop, you can get it on your TV. And I put lots of different things up there. So I've got makeup tutorials, exercise tutorials. You can do your push-ups along with me on YouTube. So it's just great, I think, all these different ways of being. And yes, I am going to continue. So yeah, big thumbs up. Thank you for all your support. I'm going to continue for the moment doing my daily Instagram lives, but not on a Thursday. I'm going to see my elderly parents on a Thursday. So I'm going to go and see them tomorrow. And I'm going to do Saturdays just for the next few weeks, and then I will drop Saturdays unless there's a Saturday special. And of course I take Sunday off as my down day. So hopefully we'll kind of get into a routine over the coming months where I'll be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is hopefully enough of a fix without just getting bored of me. And then I'll dip in with occasional Saturday specials, kind of depending on what's going on. I've got a few of those planned actually, which will be really good fun and lots more good stuff to tell you. Now, I also now want to talk about, because it's Wellbeing Wednesday and my house colour for Earle Wellbeing is hot pink. And look at these. These are just so amazing. Now, I did a post maybe a week or so ago showing a pair of flat, thick-soled trainers, canvas trainers, that I bought from a really expensive brand called Todd's years ago. And, you know, I've lived in them. You know, when you work out the cost per wear of something that's well made and that is really well designed, it's, you know, as cheap, if not cheaper, than buying something that is more disposable, that wears out or you get tired of. And so I was kind of looking around at other trainers to replace, because, you know, they're good, but they're kind of beigey and they've got a bit dirty over the years. They're good for the farm, but they're maybe not quite so smart for London. Anyway, I came across these, and this is a great shout out to 3 more fab female founders. Gosh, it's turning into a real tongue twistery kind of a day, isn't it? And this is a company, well, it's not a company actually, it's a charity called Frank Water. Those of you who've followed me for years will know that I've been an advocate for Frank Water in the past. We've supported them here financially at Earle Wellbeing. It basically is all about having clean, fresh drinking water in communities where they don't have it. You know, we think something so simple. We turn on the tap and we get water. You know, we take it for granted. And in so many developing countries, and certainly when I travel with my charity, Live Twice, through East Africa, fresh running water that's safe to drink is a rarity. Especially in rural communities. So Frank Water, great charity to be involved with. Really happy to give them a shout out. And it was founded actually by a young woman, and she founded it. I get the names of everybody right here. I've got the little leaflet about it. Katie Olcott. That was in 2005, and she was travelling through India, and she became really quite sick through drinking dirty water. And so when she came back, she made it her mission to start basically tackling global water. And so she has a water company, and the profits go to helping give access to clean water in developing countries. So she has helped, this is amazing, Frank Water have helped more than 400,000 people. Isn't that amazingly 500,000 people, with one lady starting one charity in 520 villages. So that is just super heart. We love that, don't we? It's a bit like the story of Amy over at Loving Humanity. that's another amazing story. I know Loving Humanity have got Facebook. They're also on Instagram. If you can go to my charity Instagram, we're not very active because we tend to be quite busy just working on projects behind the scenes, but that's livetwice.org, which is, I don't think we're on Facebook, but we are on Instagram if you want to follow us there. And there's also some mentions of Amy at Loving Humanity. So anyway, so I've known about Frank Water for a while and have been a supporter of theirs. So I was really pleased to hear about this. And this is a collaboration where they're making these amazing trainers. And they are being made by a sustainable footwear company. So that's another tick in the box. And the company is called Tashka. And the founder of Tashka is a woman called Natasha Rahani. And they make all their trainers by hand, and so there's no big kind of Chinese factories involved or Indian, sweatshops or indentured labour, anything like that. They are made in really good quality materials in Portugal, in small workshops, and it says the skill and the care and the attention to detail taken during the creation means they will stand the test of time. We believe in buy well, buy less. I think that's great, don't you? Buy well, buy less. And she says here, our team are well cared for, paid fair wages and work in safe, clean working conditions. All our materials and components are sourced within a 30-mile radius. We use fine leathers and fabrics wherever possible to limit wastage, blah, 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 blah. And then here they've linked up with a great lady. So it's a three female founder collaboration. So we've got the Tashka lot, and then we've got Anita Rani, that great broadcaster, Anita Rani, who has designed these. And she's worked with them basically to kind of put her name. That's Anita, I don't know whether you've seen on there. And they are raising money for Frank Water with every purchase that you make. So I think they're £135, so they're not cheap, but they are super well made. And as Natasha Rahani says here, Frank Water is a charity that resonates deeply with our core beliefs, and we are delighted to create a trainer that will help so many. And I've been wearing these. I've only just worn them once, to be honest. These are a size 38. They come up pretty true to size. They have got lots of lovely padding inside, and they've got a henna design. Do you see the sort of henna on the side? Really good. And of course the colour could not be more perfect, and this is the only colour they do. It's the Earle Wellbeing pink. Yes. Anyway, I know that we've got a link on Linktree if you want to check it out later. If you're thinking about a pair of summer trainers, you could do a lot worse, and actually you're going to do some good along the way, not only by buying a sustainable product, but also by putting some money back into the coffers of Frank Water. Don't know what's going on outside. Can you hear that? I've got gravel in my studio's gardens. These studios are a row of artist studios, and we have a communal garden that we all share here. So I was taking a bit of a risk by opening the window. You never know who might come and poke their head in. We actually had a bird in the studio this morning. We had to, we were trying to shoot this poor little bird out, and actually it was quite a big bird. I think it might have been a thrush. And anyway, we did. We managed to open up the door here, and we just sort of scooted it out. Otherwise, I was thinking I'd be sitting here and there'd be a birdie flapping around. So I am just going to check my Google Doc here, which is something that the lovely Amy does, and look at questions here before telling you about a really special offer and a free gift. So don't go away. La 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 la. Lots of questions about HRT and estrogen, etc. I really do recommend that you follow the Menopause Doctor. You know, she's got a great Instagram, she's great on Facebook, got an amazing website. It's full of information. You know, any issues you'd be interested in, breast cancer, endometriosis, prescribing guidelines, testosterone, compounded, unregulated bioidentical hormones, all of that stuff. You know, she is the real deal, and it's clinical, evidence-based information. Also, Diane Danzibrink, the Menopause Support Network on Facebook, is excellent. I know there are lots of groups on Facebook, but hers is staffed by nurses and medics, GPs who are properly qualified. There's no vested interest. They're not trying to sell you anything. They're not trying to sell you. blood tests or supplements or courses or anything like that. It's just purely about menopause support, and particularly if you've had a hysterectomy or early onset menopause. So lots there. Of course, Earle Wellbeing, I should give a shout out to my own team, shouldn't I? We've got a great website, and that's got a whole section on healthy menopause, lots of information, lots of features. They've got 2 download guides that you can easily download. I think they're on a special bundle if you want both of them. There's Healthy Menopause and The Truth About HRT. Truth About HRT is really a recommended read. I don't know whether any of you have tried it. I can see there's some questions coming in here about the spray. Yeah, I'll talk about that in just a sec before I move on to talk about candles and other lovely things. Not that the spray isn't lovely, the spray is pretty lovely. So yeah, The Truth About HRT is a really good download. It's $4.99 and we update it regularly. It's got links to all things that you might need, like NICE guidelines, prescribing guidelines. It's been reviewed by 3 professors of oncology specialising in hormones and breast cancer, so you can be absolutely sure that the information in there is safe and it's real and it's clinically evidence-based information. I have no vested interest, guys. I say this often, and I just want to repeat it for anybody new. I am not paid, I promise you, by any pharmaceutical company. I have no interest other than sharing good clinical evidence-based information, and I've got to a stage in life where I don't like injustice of any kind. I don't like social injustice. It's why I set up my charity Live Twice back in 2010 when the beauty company was sold and I had some cash. The first thing I did was set up Live Twice, and it basically tries to empower communities that are very disadvantaged. We work a lot in East Africa and we work in many other countries and in the UK as well, but that's a whole nother story, so I'll leave that for another day. But just to say that this information is completely impartial. It's no skin off my nose if you take HRT or don't. I just want you to have the proper information to take it forward. Thank you very much, Teresa, saying that you've had it and it was worth the money. No, I had lots of messages actually when I first published it saying it was the best $4.99 that they'd ever spent. So I hope you find the same. Very quick word about the spray. So the Lenzetto spray, I've just started using it, and I'll show it perhaps on one of my lives next week. It's a little white pump dispenser, and you just spray it on your arm. I like it because it's quick and simple. It goes straight in. You don't have to do lots of rubbing like you do with the gel. And of course, if there's going to be this persisting issue with not knowing whether we're getting Estrodose or EstroGel, or whether there's over-labeling, whether there's a lack of transparency and clarity coming from the manufacturers and the pharmacists who aren't perhaps aware of this issue, then yes, maybe the spray is the way to go. It's made by a company called Lenzetto, or the brand product is called Lenzetto. You can look it up online. It's not yet widely available on the NHS. It is coming. I gather some regions have it in their dispensaries more than others, so it's it can be tricky to get hold of, but it's certainly an option. But of course, what we really need to do is just get the gel right and just make sure that if you do have issues with Estrodose, if you want to check your pack, peel off the label, see if it says Estrodose underneath it. If you've been suffering with a return of symptoms, you do need to report it to the MHRA, and you can do that on the Yellow Card app. Please, even if you think, oh, well, actually, I'll just get a repeat prescription and I'll be fine. Please think about everybody else. Please share this widely. Any of your middle-aged menopausal friends, or even younger. Of course, it's not just middle-age, it can affect young women too. Anyway, that's all I'm going to have to say on that subject for now, but there is lots going on online about it, I know. Right, and breathe. Oh, little comment about lipstick. So this lipstick is, I love it. Look at this colour, it's Beauty Pie. You can see I love it because I've nearly worn it all out. Look at that colour. Isn't that fab? It's just such an easy shade to wear. This one is, what's it called? Why did I have to write it in such small writing? It is called Master Sweet. Love it. Nice texture. It's not too matte and it's not too shiny. It's just something for every day. Beauty Pie, while I remember it, we do have an offer. You get a free month. It's a membership thing. You sign up for a month and then you get access to all their cheap products, which is really good. So it's really good value. And there's a link Is there a link? No, I think you just go on their website and just you put Liz Loves in capital letters. I think it's usually always capital letters, Liz Loves, all one word on Beauty Pie. And that gets you your first month free, and I recommend it. Other free things. Okay, saving one of the best things till last. You may have seen me making candles here in the studio a couple of weeks ago, and I gave a shout out to a great British brand called True Grace. And I know these guys. I've known them for a while. Roger and Philippa, a lovely couple based in the West Country. They set up, they started from a stall in Portobello Road Market in Notting Hill, and they've grown this really beautiful brand. And it's home fragrances, lovely candles. I've got my beautiful one here, which is their lovely premium one. Oh, it's really heavy glass, which is just so stylish. Look. Really lovely, lots and lots of burning time. They use natural fragrances in the oils. They use sustainable waxes, vegetable waxes. Really, really nice. So when this whole thing happened, oops, don't set my plant on fire. When all of lockdown happened, unfortunately, they were treated really shabbily by some major high street retailers who shall remain nameless, but who possibly should have known better. And their orders just disappeared, dried up overnight. And having spent 20 years putting heart and soul into building their brand, they were suddenly faced with, well, what are we going to do? So luckily they've got a good online website. And they decided that they would put together a candle making kit. And it's been really successful, which I'm so thrilled for them. So well done, Roger and Philippa. You just are such lovely people, and you deserve every success in the world with your brand. And so I said, look, send me one here and I'll demo it. So I was hoping to do it with Lily, but she wasn't well. So I did it on my own here in the kitchen and made some beautiful candles. It's £100, but you get enough to make 6 gorgeous candles in lovely, lovely scents. I think you can choose your scents. And you have all the little pourers and the saucepanny thing and the wicks and the labels, and it's just great. And then of course you can just buy your refill bits that you need. So if you haven't yet done that and you're looking for an activity, I would highly recommend it. They've really sweetly given us a discount. We get a 10% discount if you use Liz Loves on the truegrace.co.uk website. And I was talking to them about it, and I said, how did it go? And they said, oh, lots and lots of your lovely followers bought kits, which was so great. And I said, well, look, I'm doing a special thing at the moment on neroli. Do you have anything with neroli? Because I love neroli. This is my neroli necklace, which is also on offer at the moment, half price. I feel like I'm a kind of walking offer at the moment, but I guess it's that time of year. It's kind of summer sales, isn't it? So that's neroli 50, by the way. That's the offer code if you want it on LizelleJewelry.com. Anyway, there are links. So I said, look, I love neroli. I'm doing a focus on neroli. And the reason I love neroli in the summer, and I've got some amazing things to share with you on Friday, so please stay tuned on Friday if you love neroli as well, is that it's a wonderful flower for lots of reasons. It's actually orange blossom. So the little tiny, almost jasmine-like, excuse me, just click my low power notification on Facebook. That always tells me to shut up. I'm overrunning when I go onto low power. So the little tiny white orange flower blossoms, which are associated with love and friendship and steadfastness. Those of you who watched me last week may have seen me show my grandmother's wedding headdress from her hat from the 1920s, which was wax neroli flowers. Just beautiful. I was very grateful for my mother lending that to me and trusting me with it to show everybody. And yeah, it did look just like these little teeny neroli buds here. And it has a slightly orangey, citrusy smell because obviously it's coming from the orange tree, but it also has quite a jasmine-y floral smell. But it's not too cloying. You know how jasmine can sometimes be kind of sickly and a bit too sweet sometimes. It's just a bit kind of too, I don't know, kind of too sugary and can be a bit cloying. So what I like about neroli is you don't get that. You get that lovely softness that comes from a floral, but you also get the underpinning of that kind of tangy freshness, which I think is so lively and invigorating for the summer. And it's a joyful, uplifting scent. And I've long used it. Those of you who will remember me from my days at the beauty company will know that a lot of the original scents that I used, like when I created the Super Skin Concentrate, that was based on neroli. So You know, it's been a long-time favourite of mine. And it's been a joy to just try lots of different neroli things. So I was saying this to Roger and Phil, get back to my story about True Grace. And they said, oh yes, we've got some lovely things, we'll send you. Because you guys can still get your 10% discount. So I just wanted to show you. So this lovely candle that I'm burning is actually called Orangery. Comes in this gorgeous box with this lovely ribbon, and you know, it's really premium, okay? And it smells amazing, burns for hours and hours and hours. And what they've done with Orangery, I'll read you the description, and it says, a Victorian orangery, shielding precious citrus trees from the English weather. Orange blossom blended with deeper rose and jasmine. Isn't that amazing? Imagine, I just wish you could smell. I mean, my studios do smell incredible. They also do room diffusers, so you get these little jars, obviously with the reed diffusers. Again, that's in Orangery. If you want the less expensive candle, these are great. They come in their little aluminium packs, which I think look really cool, really nice for outdoors as well. And of course, it's all sustainable packaging. That's Orangery. They also have, this is something that I absolutely adore. This is their natural hand soap, and this is pure neroli. And there's just something so uplifting. It makes me smile. I use a neroli glycerine soap. I've got one from Morocco, and it smells just like this. Look at that. That's a little tablet of neroli with their True Grace monogram. So smart. And just washing your hands with that, as we're all washing our hands so much more, but to have a really lovely glycerine soap scented with neroli, it just makes me want to smile. It does. It literally puts a smile on my face. Rather than hand washing being a drag, it becomes a treat. And what's more, this is something that's free for everybody. If you place any order on True Grace, and you can use your Liz Loves code, you'll get a free neroli hand cream. Yes, isn't that just so great? I'm so excited about this. So this is their hand cream, and it's called True Being Natural Hand Cream, Lotion pour la main, Essence of England as it should be, a soothing moisturising hand cream with an exotic floral fragrance. Oh, just love it. So this has got neroli in it. It's in an aluminium tube, so it's not even in a plastic tube. How cool is that? When you get it, you just use the end to pierce your lid like a precious ointment. Always when you apply hand cream, put it on the back of your hand first, because that's where your hand really needs it. Soak it into the back, and then, you know, it's a good texture. It's a good texture. It's rich enough to do the job and to rehydrate the hands without being sticky. So it gets an A+ in my book. And the smell! Oh, anyway, so any order on truegrace.co.uk, use Liz Loves, get your discount, and you get your free hand cream. And there's more, but this is only until Friday. So if you're watching this in real time, if you order £60 worth or more, not only do you get your free hand cream, you also get a free candle. Yes! So, I mean, Roger, Philippa, I don't know if you're watching, but big love. Thank you. We're so pleased to be able to support a great British brand, doing things properly, family run. I know you guys work like Trojans, and so well done, and really happy to support you, and thanks for sharing the love. So that's about it for today. A couple of other free things. Don't forget Readly, really good if you want some free digital magazines. Go to the link on Linktree, or Amy, I know you'll pop it up on Facebook, and you get a month's subscription free with them. It's normally $7.99 a month, and it gives you access to tens of thousands of magazines from all over the world. It's absolutely fascinating what you can dip into. I mean, you can lose yourself for hours and hours, if not days, on Readly. Really, really interesting. And, you know, for me as a magazine editor, it's actually fascinating to suddenly see all these international magazines and see what other editors are writing about. And, you know, specialist publications, including Modern Cat. Let's not forget the shout out to Modern Cat, because there is such a magazine, should you want to have a look at it on Readly. So yeah, just click on that link and that will give you the free month, and then if you don't like it you can cancel it and you haven't got to pay anything, but if you do like it then you can carry on. It's actually quite a good way to get hold of Liz Earle Wellbeing magazine. So of course it's in print, it's in the shops at the moment, so I hope that you love it. It's there for another 10 days or so, or you can subscribe. I think we've run out of the current issue though on subscription, so you are going to have to go and find it in the shops. I'd love to know, by the way, where you find it. So I know it's in Marks and Spencer's, I know it's in Waitrose, because people have told me that. So I'd love to know whether Tesco's and Sainsbury's are still stocking it as well, or WH Smith's, all of these new shops as they open. Even little independent newsagents will often have it tucked away, so it's worth asking for. So if you want the current issue in print and you haven't yet had it, do take a look in retail and see, and do let me know. Otherwise, you can download it on digital, so you can get it on Readly free even, if you want to, if you haven't yet seen the current one. And we have just pushed the button on printing the new issue, which is looking very beautiful. I can't wait to share some of those things with you. I will be back with you on Friday, so I will be back on the farm. I wonder what news there will be on EstroGel and Estrodose on that saga. Stay tuned. Don't forget links to everything I've talked about, these beautiful trainers, for example, and more, dresses in the sale. It's all there. I really hope you enjoy. It's been lovely to chat, and thank you for sharing the light and the shade, because there's a bit of both, isn't there, in the world at the moment, but hopefully we can spread more light. Lots of love. Bye-bye.